Welcome to DABCC Radio,
where smart people listen.
Virtualization and Cloud Talk,
Featuring cutting-edge solutions from the hottest companies around the globe.
Broadcasting from the DABCC offices in sunny Sarasota, Florida.
Surrounded by computers, books, and Legos.
A Microsoft MVP, Citrix Charter CTP, VMware vExpert.
And your host, Douglas Brown.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of DABCC Radio. I'm your host, Doug Brown, and I'm very excited to be here today. Today, we have a shorter podcast for you, but it's quite interesting. We brought on Fluendo, and they're the makers of, or the designers, the patent holders of the multimedia codecs that are used by so many different vendors to throw into their operating systems to give you that user experience that you so desire, require, and just absolutely at the end of the day love. So, and then we brought the CTO of IGEL on to talk about how IGEL has implemented the Fluendo codecs pack into the IGEL operating system to give you, again, that experience that you demand and that you love and that you become, just used to in your daily lives, and these rich daily lives that we have of multimedia intensive everything. So with no further ado, let's dive into it. I have Matthias Haas, who is the CTO over at IGEL, and Alex Fernández, who is one of the main guys over at Fluendo. So what do I say? With no further ado, let's learn all about multimedia for a second or two, or for about 30 minutes. Sound good, guys? Okay, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us. So as always, let's dive into this. And my first question is, who are you? So let's take Alex first. Alex, who are you and what do you do over at Fluendo?
Hi, Luke. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to chat with you and with Matthias. From my side, my name is Alex Fernández, and I'm the sales director at Fluendo. So my responsibility is to define the sales strategy of the company, decide the markets and the accounts that we must attack, and finally, to bring the revenues to the company. And to give you more details about me, on my spare time, I like to do a lot of sports, especially football, since, I'm based in Barcelona, and here football it's like a kind of religion, so at least I have to kick a ball properly to live in Barcelona.
That's wonderful. I'm an American that lives in Europe nowadays, and so I've learned at first, football to me is, people running into each other. And but I've got to live through a couple World Cup and Euro Cup, and being in Germany, I've learned a lot, and I really enjoy the sport. I can't play it, but watching it has been a true pleasure, and I sort of got the European football bug. So I find it quite cool, and for an American, that's pretty amazing. So that being said, Matthias, we've had you on the show before. Really, I love that. It was one of my favorite episodes. So hopefully the guys out there listening have listened to that one too. If not, definitely refer back to it. I'll put it in the show notes because Matthias does a great job explaining the IGEL story and technically. But in case they missed that, who are you and what do you do over at IGEL?
Hey, Doug. So thank you for the introduction. So my name is Matthias Haas. I'm the CTO at IGEL, responsible for all product-related topics on a worldwide level. So those are our software and hardware strategy. And actually, we had I really enjoyed the first podcast we did together, and really like to think back on what's been said at that time. I'm 10 years with IGEL now, so which is a pretty long history in this type of industry. And I started as a software developer at that time when I came to IGEL. And now I made my way through and, taking care about product management, product marketing, also technical documentation, so anything that's related to manuals, best practices, how-tos, and stuff like that. And, so really enjoying to have a conversation today on the cooperation and partnership between Fluendo and IGEL.
Absolutely. Well, that being said, Alex, can you tell us a bit about Fluendo? What are you guys trying to do? What does Fluendo do, and how does that benefit IGEL?
Yeah, Fluendo is a software company that was founded in 2004 in Barcelona, and whose mission is to provide multimedia solutions by means of an open source cross-platform multimedia framework, which is named GStreamer. To give you a little more of background, in 2004, Fluendo hired a team of developers from a free software project that was at this time not very known, not very popular, which is GStreamer, in order to provide the foundations of a professional framework, with the objective of providing a legal solution for playbacking multimedia, especially in Linux systems. Since then, what we have done in our company is, to develop multimedia solutions ranging from encoders, decoders, maxers, demaxers, etc. Any kind of multimedia component based in this framework. This is basically the mission of Fluendo. And what is really interesting for us, and we feel very proud, is that as a result of a huge collaborative task, GStreamer has established itself as the factor standard multimedia framework for Linux systems. And this is quite important in our relationship with IGEL, since our solutions could be embedded perfectly in IGEL's operating systems based in Linux.
Absolutely. Oh, that's cool. I'm excited about learning more about this. I know a bit about what you guys do, but I think I'm going to walk away, as the benefactor from this conversation. So this is great. Matthias, for those who might not know about IGEL, and shame on you guys, you got to learn all about IGEL. Can you tell us a bit about IGEL and what's the goal over there?
Sure. So we started in 2001. Actually, we started way earlier, but the way how IGEL looks today, we started in 2001 as a traditional thin client vendor. And at that time, when we started to create thin clients, we had to cope with challenges like terminal emulation, green screen stuff, and all of this old-fashioned technology. If you have a look on how IGEL looks today, I think we have completely changed the way on how IGEL works in terms of the focus that we have on providing the best operating system to access virtualized environments, desktop as a service infrastructures, and any solution that requires a full management capability. And getting to that management piece, this is really, really relevant also today in this distributed world to get hold of all of these endpoint devices. If you will think clients, no matter whether they are real physical thin clients in terms of a piece of hardware, or whether you just use our software stack to convert any PC, laptop, Mac to a fully manageable device that allows you to access virtualized environments. And having that said, our touch point with Fluendo is that this modern world, people want to have pretty much the same user experience like any local desktop that you're using. And this is very multimedia heavy today, not only with video and audio data, but also with the protocols being used to provide the user experience on the endpoint device for modern desktops like Windows 10 or any other Windows infrastructure that you want to use.
In order to continue with Matthias' explanation, what Fluendo does is that takes the specification from the different audio and video formats from the patent owner, and we develop here internally according to the GStreamer specification, according to the GStreamer framework. So in this sense, we are able to provide a software solution, which is called encoders or decoders. It depends on what the customer demands. And these decoders for audio and video streams could be embedded on an operating systems. And this is the collaboration that we have with IGEL, and the main focus of the Codec portfolio of Fluendo.
Why is that important, Alex? Doesn't the OS do it itself?
Yeah, the multimedia codec pack that Fluendo provides, it's important because, as you may know, multimedia is something that is a key element on a PC environment, right? So more and more companies need audio and video for their internal communication, for their external communication, and ensuring a good multimedia experience to the workers and to the end users. It's fundamental. So what Fluendo provides is a set of decoders, audio and video decoders for the different audio and video formats which are present in the market. And these decoders could be embedded on the platform that the end user is using for their job, their entertainment, etc. Moreover, one of the added values that Fluendo provides on top of this software solution is that our decoders are delivered together with the patent license for distribution. So in this sense, the audio and video formats market is quite particular because each format belongs to an owner, obviously. And there are several patent pools or several patent agents in the market that are watching, that they want to ensure that the intellectual property is respected. So in this sense, what Fluendo provides is a technical solution that is a software solution for dealing with a certain audio and video format. And we also provide the patent in order that allows an OEM manufacturer to commercialize the solution. So we are giving the peace of mind to IGEL and to the people which is using our decoders that they can distribute and commercialize because we are taking care also on the legal side of our solution.
Anything to add there on why it's important from the IGEL perspective, Matthias?
Sure. I think that's what Alex highlighted is really the reason why we work together with Fluendo. So providing the latest and really stable codecs to our customers. In addition, because you can also, you think about Linux and you say, hey, everything is free in Linux. In reality, that's a different story. So with multimedia codecs, you need to make sure that you are safe from a legal perspective. And with Fluendo, we do have a partner where we have the ability to provide a system that is where the patent fees are paid and where we are compliant with all the requirements. So also our customers can be sure that they have a completely compliant system. And this is something that is very, very important in the B2B environment where we are active. So that's the one reason. The second reason is that with these codecs, we can also use all the acceleration capabilities that are available already today on most hardware platforms that are out there in that x86 field. So H.264 is a commodity feature in terms of acceleration capabilities. So even if you have a weak device, you can benefit from these acceleration capabilities and provide the best user experience. That's basically what it's all about. User experience, user experience, user experience. If this is not working right, people do not receive the performance of the desktop very well.
Matthias, how is the Fluendo solution delivered? What does the customer need to do to implement this thing? Is it part of the OS? How does that work?
That's a very good question. So two things to keep in mind. With IGEL OS, you basically have all the capabilities already on board. This means there is no need to deploy any additional software. There's no need to download or upload or do anything else. On the second, from another point of view, we also want to provide our customers the choice on whether they really need to have the multimedia codecs on board or want to use them, or they are just still relying on like these screen solutions that are still available in some verticals. So you have the option to buy these codecs as an additional license from IGEL. And as I said, the reason for that is very easy. There are still some deployments out there where you don't need to have a multimedia codec pack, but in reality today, if you look on any, let's say, Citrix, Microsoft, or VMware solution, H.264 and all the other codecs are a must to have the best user experience out there. So we do recommend our customers to use the multimedia codec pack, but as it's still an option, as there are some scenarios where you don't need to spend money on.
Great. What's next? How's things are developing? I mean, are we done, or is there more to do with it?
Well, sure. There are a lot of things to do in the multimedia arena. Just to mention that nowadays we are in the middle of kind of protocol or format war. There are new applications that allows to work with a specific formats, or even required to work with a specific formats and protocols. So these new protocols, what allow is to improve the compression of audio and video files, and this is quite important because the congestion in our networks. And since there are new protocols and new formats, Fluendo has to be aware of it in order just to take the proper specification and implement it into the GStreamer. Because if in the future any IGEL final customer requires to work with a specific application, and that application requires to work with a specific protocol or format, well, our duty is try to provide this format to IGEL solution in order to satisfy this customer need. And for sure, the things to do in the multimedia arena are not end up, and for sure we have a long track to run on this area.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that we will see in the near future. One is that we need to have encoding capabilities locally on the devices, and this is related to the requirements in unified communication. So today we are talking about traditional, let's say, protocol accelerations with H.264 decode in pretty much any protocol that's out there today. But apart from this decoding capabilities, if we have a look on unified communication, we always, if we talk about, let's say, web conferencing, we also often see that people want to use a webcam. And getting this data from that webcam shrink down to an acceptable level and cope with low latency, high latency networks, low bandwidth infrastructures, we need to have a way on also how to encode this video stream to send it out from that device. That's the one thing that I see that where we really need to work in the future, and I'm sure that with Fluendo together we will make a great job with that. In addition, I also see that specifically in that virtualization market, people tend to use larger screens. So talking about 4K, twice 4K support, and with H.264. Today, we will come to a point where the screen resolution or the amount of pixels that you have to transfer is getting too big, and we need to have a look on new protocols. I cannot forecast whether this is going to be HEVC or H.265 or any other protocol that's currently competing on that. Every protocol currently has a pro and a con. But one thing is for sure that together with Fluendo, we will be able to provide a codec that can fulfill these requirements and squeeze the last performance bit out of all of the hardware stuff that we are currently supporting.
Exactly. From our side, for instance, we have our own HEVC implementation. So if it arrives the moment in which IGEL detects the need of having this new format into their codec pack, it would be as simple as compiling for the specific operating system and the specific CPU architecture and deliver it to you in order to you can test it. And if in the future appears a new codec which increases the compression ratio, so our duty as multimedia experts would be to develop in the GStreamer and deliver it to IGEL. Just to keep another background from Fluendo is that we are not only working in the end-user computing arena, we are trying to bring our GStreamer expertise to other industries, and currently we are focused on three big industries. One of these, of course, is end-user computing, but we are also working for the digital TV and for the automotive in their infotainment area. And what we see from all these markets is that although they are now using different solutions, different architectures for implementing multimedia solutions, the underneath technology or the underneath protocols are quite the same. So we are sure that in the future, these big spaces in which the people spend a lot of time, which are the office, the home, and the transportation, let me say, for instance, the car, at the end, they will use a common similar technology for enjoying of multimedia. There will be for sure a kind of convergence, and we are pretty sure here at Fluendo that the works that we are doing, for instance, for digital TV, that is developing specific demaxes, could be used in the future for another market that could be, for instance, end user computing. So at the end, in the multimedia arena, it is split in different markets, but at the end, we are sure that we will be able to share our developments for different markets and to provide a 360-degree solution to the end-user computing too.
Well, that sounds great. So at the end of the day, it's all about delivering a better experience to the end user, correct?
Exactly. That's the key.
You got it. And then as you guys come up with
100%.
Yeah, and as you guys come up with future, updates to the codecs and what have you, those are just put into the IGEL OS, and then we see it in the next version of the firmware. Is that the deal too, Matthias?
That's exactly the deal. So we try to keep away any codec hassle and update requirements and stuff like that. We try to keep that as transparent as possible. So with Fluendo, we really have a very capable partner to provide also updates or bug fixes really in time when it comes to a critical issue. And so with that, we believe that with Fluendo, we have the right partner and we have the right solution on our side to ship these improvements and extensions to our users or customers in a very convenient and easy way.
That's perfect. Well, I mean, it's just that simple, right? The end user doesn't. Other than the sort of the geeky aspect, I'll say geeky because to me that's the coolest word there is. But under the technical aspects, the user doesn't have to care. It's just with Fluendo and IGEL, they get a great experience. So if somebody does want to learn more, I'll throw this at Alex first. Is there something they can, is there resources you guys provide where they can dive into the weeds of what you guys are doing? And if so, where would they go?
So our main point of contact with the final customers is our partners, and IGEL is one of the best because at the end, as you mentioned, what we provide is something that is not perceived, it's something that the end users considers as default in a solution. So in this sense, we try hard, we work hard to build a good partner network in order to provide the multimedia solution, that is our decoders, our encoders, etc. In order these partners could embed it into the final solution. For sure, we have our own website and we attend a lot of events, but the best way to show our solution is that an end users could enjoy of the solution of one of our partners. And that's the reason we are really proud to collaborate with IGEL because we certainly know that IGEL works very well with end users in different industries, and their solution, the operating systems and the thin clients, they are showing at the end also our solution. So in order to know more about Fluendo, the best way is, to ask our network of partners. And of course, if anyone wants to know deeper technical detail, for sure, they can contact us through our website, and we will be delighted to help them in any kind of technical question.
In Matthias, same question. If somebody wants to learn more about the management pack from the IGEL perspective, are there resources for that or?
Yeah, sure. So we do have a lot of, let's say, marketing-driven resources on our website, but I highly recommend people that want to have a little more technical details to look at edocs.igel.com, which is our technical resource, where we have also a lot of details on which codecs are on board or which codecs are available, which chipsets are supported, because that is one of the things I really like about that solution. With the multimedia codecs we received from Fluendo, that we have a broad range of chipsets being supported. As I said, H.264 today is commodity, if you will. So any PC laptop with an Intel or AMD chipset comes with a decent acceleration capability, and we can make this usable with our UDC software or the UD Pocket. By just firing up our IGEL OS and using this codec that uses the capabilities of that chipset. And with that, we are very sure that we can provide the best user experience to any of our customers in this regard, together with a very capable and smart way on how to manage these devices, plus all of the security aspects that we have integrated into our platform to make sure that we have the ability to cope with today's challenges in an IT world, which is not only covered with those traditional approaches of virus scanners or firewalls, but that also requires additional smart technologies to keep your system safe and protected.
Look, I just want to add one thing that maybe is related with the question that you did before about how are the things developing and the long track that we have on the multimedia arena, because it's something that we are working and I think it's quite useful for IGEL in the future. Maybe you could add this part on that question, because nowadays Fluendo is working in building two bridges. We call it here bridges, and it's one bridge between GStreamer and the multimedia framework related with Windows embedded systems. I think this is a quite important step for Fluendo. Why? Because it will allow us to extend our support, our decoder support, also in Windows-based thin clients. That is quite important because we are aware that IGEL has also Windows-based thin clients, and this would allow also to cover legally one of the main benefits of Fluendo is that we cover the legal gap related to the codecs, and building this bridge between GStreamer and which is called the Direct Show or Windows Media Foundation, depending on the release of the Windows embedded system. It will allow us to extend the support of our codecs to Windows operating system.
Oh, very cool.
And another bridge that we are building is the bridge between GStreamer and another open source framework which is called FFmpeg, which is a framework which is being used by a lot of companies in order to deal with audio and video streams. And as far as we know, that FFmpeg doesn't cover the legal aspect of the decoders used on that framework. If we are able to build this bridge, we will solve some issues from some applications that are now in the market or browsers like Firefox, but also we will be able to provide a legal coverage to the people which is using FFmpeg as a multimedia framework, thus offering our portfolio of legal encoders and decoders. And that's the two things that I would like to mention, because I think they are quite useful for the end user computing customers.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Anything we left out from the IGEL perspective, or anything you'd like to add to that, Matthias?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you, Doug. I think we covered pretty much everything. I just would like to thank Fluendo for the great cooperation. I think we have already a couple of years in that cooperation, and it's getting more and more important for us to have the right partner on the codec piece, because codecs are key to a good user experience. I think that's my take. I just would leave with you.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more, Matthias. You look, at the world 10 years ago, or even 10 years ago, right? Things were pretty static, but nowadays everything's multimedia. I mean, you can't get away from it. Nor do you want to, because it gives us that rich, personal, lovely, beautiful experience that we want from our devices, right? So I don't think there's I won't say more important piece, because there are so many important pieces within the fold, so to speak. But the multimedia piece is as integral, if I can spit that word out, as there is, because it really delivers that that great user experience that people demand, and that's as I like to say, that's all there is to it, right?
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll just go ahead and call it a podcast. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show, share with us what you're doing. Alex, very interesting. I love what you guys are doing. And of course, Matthias, it's always a pleasure to chat with you in any way, shape, or form. And of course, to have you on the podcast. And we'll have to do another deep dive IGEL one for maybe the next release of the OS.
Sure.
Or something. That's always just a blast.
Absolutely.
So, guys, thank you so much.
We have a couple of great things for 2018, so this is going to be definitely worth to have another chat on that podcast. Thank you, Doug.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 2018 is going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, thanks, guys, again.
Yep. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to chat with both of you. Thank you very much.
Okay, that concludes another successful episode of DABCC Radio. Sort of a short episode, but it was quite interesting to me. Especially doing working for IGEL and using IGEL devices for a while. It's so important because for the guys listening, especially if you download one, the trial software, what have you, you might want to throw in the multimedia pack because if you don't have it, you might not get the best experience, and then you'll come away thinking to yourself, well, this isn't the best experience. No. Let us know. Let me know personally, brown@igel.com, and I will make sure you get that multimedia pack for trying. I think I can do that. I will do my best to make that happen. And but that's what will give you the very best experience, and we can't express that enough. And I think these guys did a great job explaining the value of it and the amazing things that the people over at Fluendo are doing. So what else do I say? But thank you very much to Matthias and Alex for taking the time to share this with us today. I so enjoy it. But as always, I thank each and every one of you guys for listening to DABCC Radio. And what else do I say? But if you like the episode, tweet about it. If you like the show, tweet about it. Share it with friends. Keep listening. And definitely head on over to www.dabcc.com for the latest and greatest of all types of IT news support resources. Head over to igel.com, see what's going on there. We're actually holding a big Disrupt conference in January, February, and March in America, in Europe, and in Australia. So if you guys are interested in not only what IGEL is doing, but in-user computing in general, definitely try to attend this thing. It's going to be really great, and we're bringing in a lot of really great speakers to share their knowledge on so much related to the end-user computing market. So definitely, if you can attend, please do. Let me, if you have any questions about it, let me know, and I'll help you out. I'll make sure you're there. And what else do I say? But thanks again for listening to DABCC Radio. Can you say DABCC?
DABC.
Say it again, DABCC.
DABC.
Can you say it again, DABCC?
DABBC.
How about DABCC?
DABBC.
DABCC.
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 DABCC.